good? What's good? What's happening? What's happening? It's the refill. It's Friday night. This is show number 33. We glad y'all tuned in to the refill. Man, I'm your host, Ron Daniel, man. If y'all been rocking with us, y'all already know how we get down, what we talking about. But if you don't, this is a show dedicated on highlighting the gospel rap artists around the world. The artists, the DJs, the promoters, the influencers, everybody who make gospel rap rock and roll. And tonight we got another great show with another great artist. But before we bring this artist on, listen, do us a favor, like, share, and comment. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Also, if you like what we're doing, donate to the show. Any amount would do. We appreciate it. And one last thing, for best viewing, turn your smartphone sideways. Turn your tablets sideways. Your iPads, your smartphones, turn them all sideways for best viewing. Listen, tonight we got another great guest. Everybody who come on the refill, they great guests. We like to call them great guests. We don't put one above the other one. We don't do that stuff here. But all of them are great in their own way. And so tonight we got an artist, listen here, engineer, producer. Listen, man, he gonna introduce himself in a minute. We're gonna bring him on right now. Kayren Monterro. What's good, bro? Yes, sir. We got him on.
With it, man?
We got him in the game. Bro, introduce yourself to the people, bro. We're gonna get this thing jumping, man.
What's good, man? My name is Kayren Monterro with Engage Records,
Yes,
Fight
sir.
Squad, The Movement, Frequency Canvas, Engage Distro, all that stuff, man. Rocking from there in Indiana, man. Good to be with y'all, man. Midwest boy, you feel me?
Midwest in the house already. Last night we had the West Coast. Last week we had the South. Look, I tell everybody I broadcast live from the Dirty every Thursday and Friday night. And man, we glad y'all tuned in, man. We got another great artist here, man. Bro, I always start off with this question. I always ask this first, bro. What was it that got you into just the whole gospel rap scene in general?
It's funny. So I grew up because I was heavily into it, and I'm still a part of it, but
right.
I'm probably not as connected as what I used to be.
Right.
Because probably the region that you exist in determines how much you're connected into it, depending on like how much is going around you.
Already.
So anyways, man, I grew up a preacher's kid, so my pops rap. So I found out about rap and gospel rap like all in one, which is unique, right? Because a lot of people, found out about, secular rap, whatever.
Right.
And then kind of, came into the church and then figured out that, I guess that gospel rap existed at some point. But for me, it all was like one. So it was unique because my pops was a preacher. He died when I was 19, so he would rap and combine like rap and poetry with his sermons, and it was real unique. Probably the closest thing I had seen to that later on was Cross Movement when they came along. But yeah, man. Honestly, my dad, man, is the reason why I got to him. The late great Elder Grady Speed, aka G Natural, and so as a youngin', man, I start playing drums at 5. Shortly after that, I start rapping. Because I seen him, I would just go different places and rap with him. And, it's kind of cute. Look at little Kayren rapping, a little 5, 6-year-old rapping. And so as I grew, I started finding out that there was other people who did this outside of just me and my dad, and then the very few people in my city growing up I had seen do it. And probably around, I found out about this lady who was at my church at the time. I think she was like a youth pastor or something. She came to me and my dad. She was like, "You gotta hear this group. They dope, and they for real in the music industry." I'm like, "Get out of here, man! Like, ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Body rapping about God in the industry. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you ever seen was just regular rappers on big platforms, and it was Cross Movement, and I was just like, yo, this is crazy because for them in their prime, they really was just as good. The same way Lecrae is just as good as everything on the radio, Cross Movement was just as good as everything on the radio in their day. So you know, when you think about the East Coast being prevalent, I mean, they was from Philly. So you know, that was that. But I would say really, I seen gospel rap really be like a community and a movement in the early 2000s. I think when Cross Movement started signing artists, so when they start signing like The Truth, when they start signing The Flame, a lot of people forget Lecrae was on Cross Movement.
Right. Man,
you gotta get them boys their credit, man. They without Cross Movement Records, there is no Reach Records. At least in the sense like we don't know that Reach Records. We don't. I could say we may not know Reach Records today without Cross Movement.
Already,
I think Lecrae is acknowledged it. I think that's fair. That's fair to say. So, anyways, man, you know, the Rapzilla Top 100, the South, Holy Culture. You start seeing all of this stuff pop up early 2000s, and you know, I've always been about networking, man. And so, you know, we just start reaching out, man, start doing shows, and then you know, stuff just start kind of growing throughout the years. But the origins of it started with my pops for sure, and then early 2000s, I think you really seen Christian rap really become, I still don't believe it's a genre, but I would say a movement and a subgenre. To me, I start seeing that in like the early because I didn't even know people called it gospel rap or Christian rap. I just knew like I'm a rapper and I rap about God. I talk about God. I talk about faith. And so, you know, it used to be called holy hip hop. People weren't really saying CHH. It used to be Triple H, right? Back in the, you know, or gospel rap. And so like I probably started seeing that. I would say when Cross Movement started signing artists, because Cross Movement kind of proved that you can make a living from it somehow, or get paid somehow, or you know, at least break even to keep going to the studio and buying beats. Like Cross Movement showed that you could have a real business and career behind it. But I think when they start signing people, I think that's when it was just like, okay, this could be serious. Like when you seen The Truth, a lot of people forget, man, how big The Truth was when he was on Cross Movement. On with Kurt Franklin and Mary. He was on My Sweet 16 on MTV. But what's crazy is I would say that Lecrae was always bigger than The Truth. Lecrae was putting in work in these streets, man. He was out here. Boy, when Jesus after the music stopped, man, he's been the most consistent name since then, man. He just anyways, man, so that's how I got into Christian rap, man.
Already, bro.
R.I.P. to my pops, man. That's how we got in this thing.
Yes, sir. Rest in love to your pops, bro. I just lost my dad. My pop passed away not even 2 months ago. And so, you know, I get it, bro. I get it. Hey, look here, bro. Let me ask you this. I'm just sitting back, just letting you have it, man. That's what we do here, like, man. We like, hey, chop it up. But
yeah, for sure.
You hit it on the head, man. That you know, Cross Movement, Lecrae, Reach, them boys over there, Reach Records, Flame up there in St. Louis. You know, them boys are moving around. You know,
for sure.
And you know, doing things and making things. You know, people's like these boys putting out this kind of music, they can compete. And I'm just speaking about them because I know a whole lot of cats that can compete with anybody out there. I'm talking about the gospel. I ain't even talking about gospel. I'm talking about just regular rap. I'm talking about these boys go super, super hard, and they go hard in the paint for gospel rap. And I put them up against anybody. If somebody asks me to put an all-star team together, I can put one together.
We bring up them artists because, you know, when you talk about the origins of getting into Christian rap and stuff, and there's others before. There was Great Tree. You had Gospel Gang. There's so many people and other labels, Beatmark Recordings. You had Syntax. You had so many other people. But to me, Cross Movement really like stamped Christian hip hop and really made it what it was. To me, they kind of like set the infrastructure and the foundation to say this is what it's about. Whether that was good or bad, that's another argument. But anyways, that's why I bring those cats up, because they really they really became to me what people they were the standard, right? That's what you
Already.
looked at. They set the bar.
Already. I believe that. I agree with you on that, bro. I really do, cause I mean, just looking at especially where gospel rap started to where it is now. You definitely don't got no argument for me on that right there, because the boys put in work, man. Let me ask you this, bro. So now you in gospel rap and you moving around a little bit. What was some of the things that you saw coming in? You know, everybody when we start anything in life, we go in green and we think, oh man, it's gonna do this and do this, and it's gonna be all successful and positive and all this stuff. But what were some of the things you saw early on that made you say, hey, you know, wait a minute, you know, this ain't what it is, or this is, you know, it's gospel rap cool, but it still got some, you know, some shaky things. Like what were some of the things you saw that kind of like made you kind of pause a little bit and be like, okay, I got to work on this, or I got to, you know, just do your part in the genre to make it work, if that makes sense.
Um, so I think for me, things I had to work on was a part of me growing up. I'm 30
Right,
right now. I'll be
right.
31. So the first time I opened up for Lecrae, I was like 15 years old.
Already.
So I got started at doing serious stuff at a young age. So there was a lot of immaturity
Right.
for me doing serious stuff. So like I think coming in just like that whole same team
Uh-huh.
mentality, I had to come to learn like, yeah, we might all be on similar mission fields, but it's not the same team.
Right, right.
I think that's one thing I like, just because everybody's rapping about Jesus or biblical worldview or gospel mission, whatever it is like we not all on the same team. And so like for me, especially like, cause a lot of people don't know, I used to go by the Messenger, right? So that
Right.
was my former name, like DA and then Messenger. And so, I mean, I had like 5, 6 albums under that name, 2 EPs. I toured nationally, made a big impact under that name. And I used to get so frustrated because, man, I felt like I had like classic music, and I was one of the, in that prime of that age group, I was one of the most well known, and doing it all small, independent with little to no money, and still
Right.
making a splash and still finding ways to get shows and sell merch and all of that. So I looked at the secular game. I'm like, man, hold up. Like, you know, so I'm looking at people around. I'm like, yo, you know, T.I. signing B.O.B. You look, Dre
Right.
when they got Kendrick Lamar, you know, Wayne when they got Nicki and Drake and that whole Young Money team, Hove when they got J. Cole, Ross when they got Meek Mill and Wale. So it's like, you know, even Ludacris, how he got 2 Chains and other people. So it was just like, why aren't y'all signing people? And then you start to realize like, oh, okay, like you scared I'm gonna like dim your light.
Right.
And so Christian hip hop is only so big. So it's like, if I let you come eat off my plate, you're gonna eat all the food. So I'd rather you just starve and not get food. And that
Right.
was the truth. So I think that's one thing. Everything else about, because I've had my own personal failings from, you know, things in marriage and personal failure. So like people being sinners never shocked me, because I never expected anybody to be perfect. So people's
Right.
shortcomings never like threw me off. But just seeing that the industry was so political, just like the regular industry, that was something, even still to this day at times,
Yeah, so
it still bugs me a little bit. Like, man, like, but I get it though. I get it. So it is what it is now. And, you know, I'm
right,
kind of
right.
numb to it. But that was kind of like something I really had to grow into, because, you know, man, when you're young and rambunctious, you know how it is, man. People say certain things, do certain things. You be ready to knock a boy head off in
Already.
church.
Yes, sir. Been
Like,
there.
boy, I'm saved, but you can still get, boy, you can still get worked out. We
I
can
still
still
put
move
them
some crazy,
hands on you already.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
sir.
some things I just can't talk about on camera, but yeah, man, that like the politics of CHH was like, I ain't gonna lie, man. My first album came out in '07 as a youngin'. I've been to CHH. I've been a fan, a supporter, a professional in CHH almost my whole life. It probably took until 2017 to just chalk it all up for it being what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I went through stuff as an artist, then I went through stuff as an engineer.
Right. I agree with you, bro. It's so many. Man, look at it. I've experienced so much as far as the politics side of CHH. You know, it's messy. You know, when it's a lot of petty. Look at I tell people all the time. Is that I've been fooling with gospel rap since 03, 04. And
so you didn't seen a lot.
Oh, bro, I look here. I didn't. I'm talking about. I tell people all the time. When I went in just like everybody else. You go in green. You think everybody. Oh, let's come together. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then you start seeing cats. They really sharks and alligators and snakes. And you like, okay, these boys. They talking behind your back and they saying this. I used to see cats that I would invite to my office. And just come by the studio, and then next thing you know, they hanging with these other boys. They ain't talking to you no more. It's just a whole lot of mess that go on behind the scenes. You know, a lot of that stuff I just kept to myself.
In the bucket.
Yes, sir. I just keep a lot of that stuff to myself. You know, but I tell cats, I say I got the receipts whenever I need to pull them out, but I don't need to. Now I got my petty card too. I swipe my petty card only if I need to. A cat wanna come at me crazy. I tell them, I say I'm saved, but I got receipts. So, you know, I let them know. You know, and I have done that. I've done that before. You know, I don't. Right.
Man, see, this one thing I hate, man. Like
right.
About American Christianity. American Christianity paints this picture of perfection where you're not allowed to still be a human.
Already, I agree with that.
And like Jesus, like. Bruh, like Jesus flipping tables, that was not like this pretty flipping, and they was like Jesus was with the smoke. He just never beat nobody up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like calling people a brood of vipers was very disrespectful.
Right.
In that context. Right. And that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But you know, there's this thing of where like you can't be a Christian or you can't be a disciple or follower of Yahweh, whatever the heck you want to say. Like you can't walk the faith out and still be a human. And I think that plagues the church now. So tying that into Christian rap, like, man, it's just like the streets is everywhere, man. It's just like, even as I grow in circles now of business and expanding as an entrepreneur and a CEO, man, it's the same politics everywhere.
It's
church,
everywhere. Show right. Everywhere.
People will be people regardless. And so I got a homie, and one of my homies, he told me, and he's learning, you know, he was like, man, you know, I got the expectation where I just expect good from people. He maybe this ain't word for word, but basically what he was saying is he kind of expect good from people until they show him otherwise. I'm opposite. I'm just like, man, I expect a cold world. And then when you show me otherwise, I'm like, oh, that's what's up. Like, it's still good people out here. But it's just like, it's a me, myself, and I kind of world. And people do whatever they can for the benefit of them. So that's very much Christian hip hop. Super cliquish, super political, super diva, super emotional boys. And a lot of these boys in CHH need to take their panties off and grow up. That's
See, that's what I want you to get to, man. Because, see, here's the thing. And I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
I haven't really had nothing recently because I've been disengaged. But I'm going to have to, like, as an artist, as an engineer, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to have to start affiliating with it. It's kind of like right now, I don't even know what cracks to really hit at. But there are still some solid people in CHH, but it's definitely some flamboyant, emotional people out here. That's for sure.
And bro, that's just keeping it out of the way of book, because I've experienced it, man. What you saying? I've said this for years. I say, hey, these boys out here sensitive. They're real sensitive, and if they see you moving around a certain way, it's like they get envious, they get jealous. You like say, man, wait a minute, hold up. You get mad because of these things now. You don't want to fool with me no more because Joke, I popped off and opened up a studio. You know, I'm like, I only did it because I can't go to them boys who got them studios in my city because of the culture. It's just little stuff like that where I
Man,
saw. Go ahead.
you know some of the realest dudes I met in CHH long time. I can go through a whole list. Somebody we both mutually know, C. Micah, that's a real one. C. Micah, a real one. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna tell it. C. Micah gonna tell it what like it is. So shout out to C. K. Drama, D.
Right.
Them is my OGs, man. I looked up to them growing up a lot. Still do to this day. Ride Redeem, him and C. Micah just did a project together. I mastered that. Ride Redeem, real one. And my dude Ruslan from the West Coast. Ruslan from King's Dream. Ruslan is a real dude. And if you just follow his YouTube channel, you'll see Ruslan ain't scared of the smoke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like cats like that, I gravitate to, and there's definitely a slew of other cats, but I can gravitate to cats like that because, man, they just like, it's faith and masculinity, and it's real. Like Ruslan, one of them cats, like, don't ask him a question, don't send him your music, don't ask for his honesty if you ain't willing to take it. Like some boy, like most of these boys out here, if you say you don't like their song, it's a problem.
Right.
And that ain't just Christian rap. That's
just across the board, right.
Because as an engineer, I work on both sides of it, and it's just like you can literally tell somebody like, bruh, I don't think you got what it takes to be the next Drake, Kendrick, the baby, little baby, whatever it is you think, the next Lecrae, Andy, whatever you think you about to be. I don't think you got what it takes. Or I don't think that this record specifically is going to get you there. You got more talent to do better. You say that, man, boy, you think you kill somebody's mama out here, man.
Yes, sir.
For real.
Yes,
These
sir.
boys is out here, I'm telling you, it's sensitive, man. So it's not just gospel rap, man. I think it's just the world we live in, man. The world at large is just sensitive. You comedians can't say stuff and stand up no more.
Right.
Basketball players can't, like, bro, everybody just so sensitive nowadays, man. I'm just like, man, get over yourself, man. Grow up. Get over yourself, man.
I tell my kids all the time, especially my oldest, she 15, especially her. I tell her all the time, you know, when you get out in this world, my baby, she can draw her butt off. She cold. She is ultra talented in drawing. I said, but when you step out in this world, it's gonna be some folks that's gonna say, hey, they look like some garbage. And I told her, I said, you got to be able to look at these folks and just kind of look at them like, I appreciate that and move on. And don't get too sensitive. I say, cause everybody, and I've learned this and I teach them this and I talk about this all the time. You ain't gonna be everybody's cup of tea. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm in the South. My language chopped and screwed. You know what I'm saying? Some folks gonna get it, some folks ain't, and I'm cool with that. I'm grown. I ain't got time to be trying to please these folks out here. It is what it is with me. And but you're right. You hit on the head because a lot of these cats, man, they have allowed their, I want to say, their sensitivities to destroy friendships. Because somebody tell them something, they say, hey, man, you may need to do this, or like you say, you may need to do that. And these boys so sensitive, where they like, oh, man, Kayren tripping, he hating. I'm like, no, man. Let me take you back some years ago. I had a conversation with a cat. I'm not going to name drop. But this cat right here, he not a gospel rapper. He just a regular street rapping dude. And so he came by my office because they needed some graphics. We do marketing here at the office. And so he needed some graphics for his CD cover. So it was 4 of them came in the office. One of them, he knew me. He said, I know you. He said, you a gospel rapper. He said, and I know you. I know how you get down. He said, you sure you want to make this cover? So I told him, I was like, hey, y'all came to my office, you pay me, and we're going to design the cover. It's only 2 type of jobs that I don't do, and that's a job that if they want me to design a cover, they get them, but So I'm talking about just straight naked women all over there. I'm not doing that. And the second one is if it's like somebody come by my office, they say, hey, this the Ku Klux Klan, we finna go kill all the black folks, or here go some black organization finna kill all the white folks. Like, I don't want no part of that neither. I turn that money down quick. And so, but I told him, I said, other than that, I design whatever. And so he popped, they was working on a mixtape. He said, hey man, I know you gospel rap, but I want you to hear something, tell me what you think about it. I said, pop it in the thing. So he popped it in. I listened to it, and I cut it off within maybe 25 seconds. I cut it off. And I told him, I said, hey, bro, I said, y'all sound like everybody else. Man, one of them boys got up and started pacing the floor. And I told him, I said, hey, man, if you don't mind, don't pace the floor in my office, man. That ain't good. Don't be pacing in front of me. If you don't mind, have a seat. But then I told him, I said, look, I said, y'all mad and tripping off a critique for me. But when you throw your music out there to cats getting paid 5, 6, 7 figures to critique your music, and they got a strong following, and matter of fact, they can say, hey, this some garbage before we even take off. I said, man, hey, I was telling them, I said, man, y'all need to just be yourself. Quit trying to sound like, down here in the South, in my city, we have this thing, this across the board, gospel rap, regular rap, whatever. Whoever hot, these boys try to sound like them. So if it's somebody in Memphis sounding hot, they try to sound like Memphis. If it's somebody in Dallas, Mo 3 or whoever in Dallas rapping, they try to sound like them boys. If Oklahoma take off and get hot, Oklahoma City, they try to sound like them. I'm like, man, sound like yourself. And so Bo he was like, oh man, you just sound like you hating. I said, no, I'm not hating, man. I'm just, you can't take critique from me. I said, you sure can't take it from them boys who getting paid 5, 6, 7 figures to critique everybody's music across the board. And the moment they get in their hand and play it, they gonna cut it off just like I did 15, 20 seconds in. They gonna say you sound like everybody else. So I get it, bro. Let me ask you this, bro. Now you're talking about engineering, and I love having conversations with the engineers and the cats who just mixing. I didn't talk to artists all my life. I didn't talk to DJs. But to me, the key point, the focal point of any project is the mixing, the mastering, and who doing that engineering. Bro, how you get involved with that side of the game, just engineering and mixing? How you get involved with that?
So once again, good question, by the way. So shout out to my pops, man. Once again, because if my pops didn't get me involved into the studio, just to give a background. So when I say my pops, I was raised by a man who's not my biological dad. He married my mom when I was almost 2 years old.
Right.
And so I come from biologically, I come from a real musical family. So I would have already been playing drums. But besides that, everything else musically all goes back to him. So when it came time for me, I started making beats in like 8th grade. And I started making beats because I needed beats to rap to, right? So I started making beats, and I was recording on karaoke. So the keyboard that I had, I would mix the beats inside of the keyboard and then, record on this little karaoke machine. Then my freshman year of high school, my church bought me this Tascam 4-track recorder. And for anybody watching this show, all analog workflow is way different than completely digital or even a hybrid between analog and digital. It's one of them things to where if ain't no, recording a hook, then copy and pasting it. You got to stand there and record the whole song the whole time. And if you mess up, you got to go back and do the whole song over. So like, yeah, I know about that life. The tail end of it, I know about that life. So kind of just like really just doing my own music. My record label, Engaged Records, used to be called Holy Soldier Records. And the name changed in 2013. But kind of like doing for myself and in-house for the label, man, we would just be going places. And I kind of just had to do it because at one point we didn't have the money. And then even when the money was there to be able to send it off or, however much it would cost to get mixed and mastered, I knew the sound that we wanted. And I've always been a fan of like real real warm and big sound, but also crisp and mid range that popped through. And so, man, I just was doing it, and I had thought about sending it off, but it's just like everybody kept coming up at shows, man. Who engineering your stuff? And I would never reveal it. And my older album covers, I would just say that it was mix and master at our studio. I won't give myself credit because I didn't want people to know. So about 2013, 2014, I ended up being on house arrest for like 2 years and 3 months. And so I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to tour no more. I still got to stay in the game. Right. So I was like, it's going to make sense for me to start marketing this and like transitioning the hat because I can do it from the house. I can do that I can't tour with an ankle bracelet on, but I can work with artists all around the world from home because of technology. And so it was real easy for me because I was an artist and a label executive and I knew a whole bunch of other artists. Right. It was easy for me to just start telling artists like, yo, send me stuff. And so stuff just started growing, man, and stuff happened quicker than what I thought it would. But I've been engineering for a long time, got a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom and knowledge, but really just having to get into it from being a producer and an artist myself. And then I just always been fascinated with sound, man. I always wanted, I run live sound at my church. Always had an infatuation of that. Like even my dad having the stereo at the house with the little 5-disc CD changer and it had the EQ on the front. You know what I'm talking about? Big old speakers with the cassette and the CD. Even the EQ on there used to have to be like, man, boy, stop touching my stuff because I just always been infatuated with sound. Every time I hear music or sound, I automatically think like, man, like I'm listening to critique. What would I do to make this better? And so, which also makes sense of why I've done a lot of mastering throughout the years as well, because mastering, that's the mindset, is getting the mix and trying to maximize it and all of that. So, man, just I don't know, man. I guess I was born to do it if you really want to say, but the what opened that discovery for me really that I had a gift for engineering and a talent for was really my own music, and then the amount of compliments that we was getting from other artists and just fans of the music. Like it was like other artists was commenting about the quality of the music before the talent. Right. Like, man, your song sound good, man. Who mixed and mastered it? Like, you hear how I was riding on that beat? What you mean who mixed and mastered it? Like, you know what I'm saying? But, so yeah, that's really how, man.
Already. Bro, what's your go-to DAW over there, bro?
So I'm using Studio One. When I first came up, man, sorry to hurt any feelings. I hate Pro Tools. I wish I hope Avid goes out of business. No, I'm just playing. I don't wish evictions on nobody, but
go ahead,
I hate
bro.
Pro Tools.
Hey, I'm laughing because, man, I've had these conversations. I use Studio One too. I still use Sonar Cakewalk Platinum. And
Studio One Professional is from top to bottom is the most capable, the fastest, and the best. Though I don't care what nobody says. Man. It's hard.
I agree. For what I do here. Well, I was telling you earlier, we do a lot of voiceover work. So for me to get in and out with the voiceover stuff, with that work, I use Cakewalk. I can get in, get out, and just boom, 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 chop it in, chop it, be done with it. For studio work, it's Studio One. And then I got Pro Tools, but I barely use Pro Tools. I had this conversation with a partner of mine 2 hours away. I'm not going to name drop him. And man, every now and then we have these conversations about what's the best DAW. And so I come to the conclusion, man, when me and him get into it, we don't really get into it. We joke about it. But I always tell him, I said, look, at the end of the day, he Pro Tools everything. I mean, he probably looking at the show. Pro Tools everything.
I mean, but go ahead.
Now, what I was telling was, I said at the end of the day, when cats listening, when they start listening and they streaming and download, I said as long as we can get to the point of getting that thing to an MP3 or a wave, it don't even matter. I said, I use what worked for me. I said, it's just like a joker say, do you want Dodge, Chevy? Do you want Coke or Pepsi? What you want? Hamburger? You want Burger King, McDonald's? I said, so he was like, oh man, Pro Tools everything. I said, man, look, I got Pro Tools. I rarely use it. But I use Studio One and Cakewalk. Them my go-tos.
At the end of the day, man, when it comes to the DAW, for any producer, engineer, artist,
right.
you know, whoever, musicians, whoever might be having to record something in the studio, it's just about workflow. At the end of the day, whatever you can do to get you done the fastest, that's what it's about. I don't like Pro Tools because Pro Tools, you know, I work in a hybrid situation, so I use analog and digital gear. Right. But Pro Tools, and stuff may have changed. Well, it's too late for me at this point. But at the point, so I came up on Adobe Audition. Back in the day, it used to be called Cool Edit Pro for the youngins who don't know it. I had it, and I swear everybody in my city was using the same crack copy. It was easy back then because, you know, you just made a data disk out of it, and, you know, wasn't no online registration, and you know, they didn't know. So my homie burned it for me. I used that thing for almost a decade. I was still using the 2003 version of Cool Edit Pro and 13. That's crazy. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Stock plugins and all. So then I had did 2014. Then from 2013 to 2014, I had signed up for a subscription for Adobe Audition. And my dude, Israel Music, shout out to Israel, who I've learned a ton from, who used to work at Sweetwater and was my sales rep for a year. He was telling me, he was like, man, bro, you need to step your DAW. He was like, man, you know, I think Studio One would be the move for you. And it took about a year. It took about a year later, and then Adobe just was on some bull. And so I was like, man, I gotta switch to another DAW. So Pro Tools was out of the question. At that time, I was still on PC. I hadn't moved to Mac yet. So I couldn't get Logic. Logic might have been. So really for me, I tried Sonar back then. Sonar was cool. It was real. They discontinued it, and that because of Studio One. Studio One is part of that reason, man. Studio One came in and wreck shop on the game, man. But for me, it came down to Studio One and Cubase. A lot of people don't know that the people who built Studio One is the people who actually helped build Cubase. They left Steinberg, got picked up by PreSonus. So there's a lot of similarities. But to me, Studio One is like Pro Tools, Cubase, and Logic all got together and birthed a child. And that's what you get out of Studio One. So in 2014, the drag and drop features and just how quick stuff was, I needed that. And coming from Adobe, just having certain editing capabilities and certain things, it was just important for me to be able to have those tools. So I found that Studio One was the fastest. And you don't need quick keys in Studio One. Like, it's that fast. So imagine it with quick keys. And then people can say what they want, but the sound engine is better to me than Pro Tools. When I record vocals in Studio One, it just sound more warm, more full, more realistic, more like tape than the others do. Logic sounds good, Pro Tools sounds good. I just think from top to bottom. And then mastering, as a master engineer, I do a lot of mastering. So they got a complete mastering side too. And Studio One that's just dedicated for mastering. So I was able to leave Wave Lab and integrate fully to Studio One. And so yeah, that's been one of the best decisions in my audio engineering career, switching to Studio One and sending out PayPal invoices. Them is my best
already.
My best decisions in my career, for sure.
Make sure them boys send that money, cause you got to pay to play. If you're looking at this, you gotta pay to play. You can't be coming in these studios looking for no free work. And look at
my policy say up front, we ain't no payment. You want a payment plan, you better get saved.
Already.
Try Jesus. I ain't this gonna cost you.
That's it. Hey bro, I tell people all the time, when they come in this office looking for free, I say ain't nothing free in here. You gotta pay a fee for me to even touch this key up in here. Don't come here looking for nothing free. Ain't nothing free up here. When you go to Walmart and fill your basket up and walk out there. They said they giving out free groceries. I give away some free cereals. I ain't seen it. I don't think I'm gonna ever see it. Bro, let me ask you
Now,
this,
you know
bro.
what?
Go
If
ahead.
Walmart give away free groceries, that's more reason for me to charge you because you just saved some money.
Already, I ain't see that already. Hey, let me ask you this, bro. For cats who looking at this, man, and they wanna get in that engineering side. A lot of cats look at a lot of cats just ain't the rappers, but they might be like, hey, I can mix and match and put some sauce on that thing and put it out there to the world. Like, what are some of the first steps, in your opinion, you think they should invest in equipment wise? You just gave the game on the dog, and I agree 1,000% on PreSonus. And I'm gonna say this real quick. What I love about PreSonus is they, with the fader port. I got the fader port 16, and with the fader port.
I got the 8 over here.
Yes, sir. So you already know where I'm finna go with this. I love the way it the functionality and the flow. It just make everything so fast and quick. You get in, get out, and it's kind of like football. Get in and out your breaks real quick and do what you need to do. And so, but for folks who watching this, cats looking like, hey, I wanna be a mix engineer. I wanna open up a studio. I don't know what to do. Like, what kind of game can you give for whoever looking at this? That's why I love this segment of the show, cause a lot of cats, they want to get in on that side of the game, the mixing and the mastering, but they don't know where to start.
First off, the best investment you can do is to hire me and pay me. That's the first best. Nah.
Already.
At this point, man, I would say high quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as least as possible. Cats like us, we do it. We work with other artists and stuff, and we do it a lot. So there's a lot of gear, and I'll show you my room. We in a new space, man. Grand opening next week. It's a beautiful thing for the city. First black high-end studio ever in my city, and we downtown.
Already big
in a prime location. So my advice would be just simple stuff. You can go on YouTube. I didn't have YouTube coming up, so I actually had to learn how to engineer. I actually had to get in the mud and get clean. Y'all boys can learn how to engineer. Y'all boys getting water hose down. I had to jump in the mud and get bit by piranhas and alligators in the water, and then come out and get the blood off, and then get alcohol poured on me. Y'all little bougie boys these days, y'all get it made, man. So YouTube got a lot of games. So you're gonna need a solid computer. First off, you're gonna need a solid computer. So I used to be PC all the way, but man, go Mac, man. Go Mac. Get you a Mac. But rather you PC or Mac, you're gonna need you a great computer. Then you're gonna need you a great digital audio workstation. You're gonna need you a great interface. You're going to need a microphone. You're going to need some headphones. And honestly, with that, you get you a little set of speakers. And honestly, man, just rock out and learn the tools that, learn your software up and down, learn the craft and engineering. And then I would say based off of that, how you grow from there, develop your skill set, and then figure out what you need. I just told somebody who paid for a consultation yesterday, he was like, man, I'm about to build, one of my cousins actually, man, I'm about to build a studio. I want you to help me. How much would you charge us? I got an investor, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling them, don't go buy a whole bunch of stuff that you don't even depend on now and you don't even know how to use. Why go buy a whole bunch of outboard gear and you don't even know how to use it? You know what I mean? You don't even know how to get the most out of it. So why do that? Just if you feel like you need to upgrade, buy better versions of what you're already used to.
Already. Yes, sir.
but at the end of the day, don't go into the hole and then try to make money back. Especially for Christian rappers, it's hard to make money for Christian rap, and ain't no touring right now, so it's already hard to make. It's already hard to make money when you're doing shows and then selling merch with that, and then you take that away. So don't be going out here trying to. And I sound like a hypocrite because I didn't put so much in the studio throughout the year. But don't go out here, man. You can really build a studio for $350.
And bro,
if
you
got a computer, that's not including your computer.
Right.
If you already got a computer, you can buy a simple bundle for like $350, $400. And is it gonna sound like Lecrae and Drake? No, but people can enjoy the record.
Right. You gave, and whoever looking at this, you get number game tonight because you hit it on the head. I like one of the key things you said was upgrade. I had to learn this over the years. Use what you have, and when it's time to upgrade. You know, I remember when I first bought. Let me take you back, bro. I remember when I started my studio. I had the speakers on milk crates. I'm talking about milk crates that I got from the back of a Walgreens, Joker. Milk crates.
One of my homies in Indianapolis. He's the first person I ever seen do that, man.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about, I went to the back of a Walgreens. And I said, man, they got milk crate. I asked dude, I said, hey, man, what y'all gonna do with the milk crate? He was just outside. He said, man, you can take whatever you want. He said, it's trash, dude. I said, okay, I took them, bleached them things down, washed them down. I stacked them up 4-5 high. I put some JBL speakers. They wouldn't even monitor, man. They were just straight speakers. On there, look at, my thing is like, as long as they were bumping, we good. Look at my did that. Look at I started off with the what's that thing called, the Roland R8? I think that's what it was, digital recorder. And you right, you got to record everything if you mess up. And so what I learned though, I was like, okay, I'm using this, but it's time for me to get some studio monitors, not just no speakers, because I just want to hear something. So then I went in the store, chopped it up with them boys, and said, hey man, get these right here. Get these KRKs or get these audios or try these Yamahas. And then, you know, then you start to see the difference in the sound and how to, you know, look at back then we used to mix everything up. As long, hey, it's bumping, it's sounding good, we mixing up, getting the car sound like trash. Then I learned to mix low. And I said, let me mix low and mix this thing right. So I've learned over the years, you hit it on the head, like, start with what you get. And then when it's time to upgrade, you know, look here, I didn't have a pair of Avatones. What made me get the Avatones, I've had the Avatones now for about, I won't say 4 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. But what made me get them was, I saw a cat speak, no, it wasn't. It was an interview on, I forget what I was watching, but this cat mixed everything through them Avatones. I said, man, what is them little ugly looking speakers? And dude said, it was a studio in LA. He said, if you can mix, now I'm a paraphrase. I can't say word for word what he was saying, but he was saying if you can mix your whole song through this, cause he was doing an A and a B. He was mixing it through there, then he was clicking this other button. He was like, y'all, he had sound, and it was like everything was opening up. Then he'll bring it back down. I said, man, I gotta get a pair of those. Man, I can't look at call Sweetwater, call B&H. I think I got him from Sweetwater. And Sweetwater, the cat there, I forget his name. He ain't there no more. And I got him from Sweetwater. He was just breaking down pretty much the same thing what dude was saying. He said, man, you need these to do what you need to get done. And so, but I knew then, I said, okay, it's time to upgrade and go and spend $500 for these little ugly looking speakers. But they make a world of difference in what you're doing in the studio. So you hit it on the head, man. You know, start with what you get. A lot of these cats, I know cats that went out, they bought all this stuff and they don't know how to use it, and then they end up selling it off. Cause then they get bored, they say, okay, I don't know how this works. I don't want to do none of that, and I'm gonna sell it.
And from a business standpoint,
right,
music equipment does not appreciate, it depreciates. So meaning that you value. So if you pay $500 for some speakers, then a year later figure out that you don't want them, you probably gonna get $200 out of them.
Sure, right.
They can be in mint condition, original packaging. You will be lucky to get two. And you might be able to finesse somebody out of $250, $300 at the most. But you pretty much gonna lose half off.
Yes, sir. And
you know what you gonna do?
And you know what, bro? You hit on the head, because that's one thing I tell people all the time. They say, well, man, you know, now I got a certain type of mic now, different type of mic, different type of speakers. When you talking about upgrade the computer, I went out and bought, for my other studio, I bought a whole gaming computer. And they said, why you got a gaming computer? I said, man, them things built to last. And I see the whole difference, and it's just a difference in running everything. And so, but I was telling them, I was like, when I was selling off equipment, I was selling stuff on, well, what I use now, what's that thing called? It's one called Marcotti. I use that. Offer Up, I use that to sell equipment. eBay sometimes. But when I sell off equipment, you right. If I paid $600, $700 for something, and I said, okay, I'm gonna put it out there for about $550 and see what happened. Then the cat come in the door and say, hey man, all I got is $425. I said, all right, man, come on. They walk in. Hey, I had some what's some speakers called? The big dog speakers, QSCs. I had some QSC, the 15 inch sub cabs. I had two of those, and I put them online. Put them online for $2,400. I paid $32 for them, $3,200. Put them online for $24. Cat coming in from Dallas. I kid you not, man. Coming in from Dallas. He a DJ. He said, man, I'm here for like 2 days in your city. He said, man, I got $1,800 right now. He said, where you at right now? I said, well, man, I can meet you at the office. If you got 18, they gone. Buddy came up there, dropped 18 right there on the table, got on out there. So you hitting on the head. So for folks who listening, don't be thinking, I paid $1,000 for this whatever, this interface or this compressor or whatever. I should get about 8 or 9 out of it. I said, no, you good to walk away with $600, $550 or so. But you hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head.
Especially somebody who know what game is.
Right.
They're gonna let you go out here and try to sell it for that much used, because at that point I might as well hit up Sweetwater. And here another thing too. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but when you start spending more money, you get more discount. So at that point, you're trying to sell me $1,000 compressor for $800. I might be able to make a couple calls and get it brand new with a warranty on that joint for the same price. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, you ain't gonna finesse me.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they out there, man. I had some cats tried to get me. I said, nah, man, you go get to go try to say that to them boys who just now started. And so I ain't trying to hit that. Bro, let me ask that, bro. Talk about the projects, man. First, before you get into that, bro, talk about we was talking before you was talking about you was leading into the new studio. Talk about the new studio and the new studio location and why the move and what you looking to do in the future with the new studio move.
So yeah, man. So I've been engineering for a long time. So I started 2019. I started a company called Frequency Canvas, like a canvas that you draw on.
Right.
So people can follow on social media Frequency Canvas, at Frequency Canvas. People can go to the website frequencycanvas.com. You can even shoot an email me Kayren at frequencycanvas.com, and I can get you right. But I started that because I was doing everything under the label Engage Records, and I was off the scene as an artist for a little bit, and I came to release. I was getting ready to release my latest album called Broken that I dropped at the end of 2019. And so my manager at the time, she was just like, Kayren, the brands was just clashing, and it can be confusing. So I just needed something to put that stuff on it. So I created a company. The name was dope. Wasn't really sure where I was going to go with it. And so, I was just cool in the house. And I live in a small community of only like 30,000 people, right? So there's no kind of music scene here for real. There's people who do it, but when I say music scene, I'm saying like ain't no professional music scene here, right? Indianapolis has way more of a music scene than where I come from, but it's way, way, way more people, right, that live in Indianapolis than where I live from. So there's a wave of Black entrepreneurship that we're trying to start in the city. Like if you Google my city, you'll see my city is the last city in America to do a national lynching, right? That's what we less than 100 years ago, 2 Black men was hung downtown in my city. And less than 100 years, you have 2 Black men who on that same corner block have businesses downtown. Right. And so where I'm at is a share office space. 3 of the 4 businesses are Black owned, which is fire to me, kind of revitalizing downtown. It's a good move because we're about to launch. So during the pandemic, I started this company called Reliable Steering, and Uber and Lyft is not prevalent in our city. So I'm about to start a similar ride sharing company called Pull Up.
Right.
And so the app is already done and stuff. And so it's going to launch. So the plan was to actually launch that and then possibly do. But it's just some things came up, and sometimes life throws some curveballs that you're not planning. So I
Right.
would have been an idiot not to make the move. The location, what it represents, but our city has never had a high end studio downtown. So this is the first high end studio to ever exist downtown in my city, and it's the first black owned high end studio, really probably to really ever exist in the city. But for sure, it's the first downtown ever.
Right.
So period and black owned. So just what it represents. But I mean, I work with a lot of people, people send stuff for mixing and mastering. Since it's not in my house no more, this will allow people to come in and record and,
Right.
just kind of open up a commercial space, man, and just get it out of the house. Me and wife, you might want to have another kid one day, and there's all kind of stuff. There's all kind of great reasons. But I can show you the space if y'all want to see it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Y'all, you want to do it right now? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so I still got some bots. The grand opening is a week. Still got some boxes. So let me see. Can I flip this thing while we on here? Okay, yeah, I see it. All right, man. So I'm gonna just show you like the control desk. So like I hate booths. So you kind of just got like that stuff in the back, real fire. And then you got like the mic area right there, which is like the room. The room is treated incredibly. But yeah, man. So you got, you got a lot of analog gear and a rack right there. Got some more analog gear. Super excited about this, man. Got an SSL console in this joint.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the shits. So use that for like summon and stuff. If you don't know what SSL is, go do your homework.
The boys better do their research, Mike.
Do your research. And so got the KRK, the V8s. These are not the Rockets. These is bigger than the Rockets. So you got the Aventone, the Mix Cubes. Then, the machine studio, like the complete and the drum machine. So, a lot of people walking here, they're like, man, that's a whole lot of equipment. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. It's set up nice, man. I think one thing I tell cats, man, with setting up those studios, make sure they nice, man. I tell cats, make sure it's a nice environment, it's a comfortable environment, so cats can come in, do what they need to do, and get on up out of there.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely important, man, to set up. And I mean, just from the camera, it don't really capture. I got a whole nother rack that's just ready. It got vents over it, so you can't really see. But I got a whole nother rack right now that is just saying put equipment in, right? So, but at some point, like building a studio is an addiction, man. And you'll find if you really love the craft, like I'm warning people, like it's an addiction. So you'll get to the point to where like eventually you get to the point to where, sorry man, I'm trying to mount this thing back into this.
Go ahead, bro. You good?
I'm trying to mount this back into this stand. But you'll get to the point to where eventually you are a collector. And you love, depending on how dedicated to the craft you are, you can just buy stuff and just buy stuff and just buy stuff. And eventually you have to get to the point to where it's like, is this making me money? Right? If this ain't making me no money, why am I buying it? And so if that's the case, then the majority of this gear can go, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I can make but it's also about how you learn too. I come up in an analog environment. I come up in an environment of analog. I come up in an environment of a lot of digital. So I love the sound of analog. A lot of my favorite records was made using a lot of analog. So I like it, and I like touching. Like prime example. Behind me, this thing right here. If I'm making a beat, I want to be I want to be touching stuff. I don't want to be clicking a mouse and just using piano roll on software. And I want other producers when they're coming in here to work to do the same thing. So, but I was talking to my dude Israel Music, like everything has been redefined. The definition of what high end is now, the definition of a multi-million-dollar studio. So including a computer, well, not a Mac, but boy, if you already have a computer, you can build a state-of-the-art studio under $1,000.
But I agree.
So,
I agree to that.
Well, maybe it's not state-of-the-art in terms of like on paper, but what comes out of it, you can do for under $1,000. You can build a professional sounding studio for under $1,000. You ain't gonna get what I got for under $1,000. You're gonna need about 30, 40 bands to build this kind of room.
Really? Right,
but you can do that. So the thing for that is it's just like so to me, a new multi-million-dollar studio is like 20,000 plus, maybe 10,000 plus. Like if you can get professional sound for under $1,000, then spending 5,000 plus on the studio sounds crazy to some people. So it's just like it's all relative, man. But I remember getting enormous results for a studio under $1,000, and that's including a computer.
Right. You hit it on the head, bro. Because I'm looking at studio trends now, and I'm gonna say this. You was just talking about the SSL, and I was looking. I just got the Sweetwater. They send me the catalogs all the time. They still send the catalogs in the mailbox, man.
Yeah.
They said.
By the way, I only live 45 minutes away from Sweetwater, so anytime I get something,
right.
I'll say this on here. I had already put about 30 something into the studio, and then when I was transitioning out my house, put another like 11, 12 from the transition, adding some stuff, upgrading, and so. Yeah, anytime I want something from Sweetwater, I just drive up there. I know you hate that. I know that's a slight flex. I just drive up there. This SSL, I had it in here for about 2 weeks now. I just drove up there.
No, look here, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, I told you before, man. I said that's one thing I got to do. I said I got to drive to India. And I'm telling you, when I touch down, I'm gonna hit you up too, cause I got to get the Sweetwater. Yes, sir. I got to get there, man. But I was telling Cass, I said I'm looking at the trends now. I was shocked when when Solid State made that little it's like they trying to rival what the fader port is doing now. And I said, I had a conversation with somebody online. They was like, no, it ain't nothing like the fader port. I said, no, bro. I said, when SSL to me came off their high horse and said, hey, let's go make something to rival that fader port, I said, now everybody understanding now that cats can get they can make a whole album in their bedroom now, using fader ports and this SSL console they just made. I'm like, even the one you get, I saw that when they first dropped that thing a couple years ago. I saw, okay, they get that thing about what, $1,400, $1,500. But
15, yeah.
Right. So when cats see that, they be like, I ain't finna spend that on no SS. I said, man, SSL, that's top dog stuff. That ain't no,
I mean, so basically, for the people who want to rather stuff like that be worth it, because it is really smart. So when y'all go in studios, and this is the SSL book that came with it. When you go in studios, or you see big old consoles like this.
Yes, sir.
Nobody's buying those big old consoles, but like schools, because it doesn't make sense to anymore. So essentially, if I'm in the design room at the origins of this, basically. If I was on the design team, basically what the focus was, instead of taking up this whole wall, how can we fit the best parts of this console on this desk? Because I mean, it has up to 12 inputs of summon, 2 mono channels of a SSL. Like it has the G bus compressor on it. Obviously, like it's a small version, but like this thing is like it looked like a mixer, but that's for real a console.
But
that's for real a console. So, and you can use it in so many different ways. And so I look, and it sounds amazing. Yeah,
I know it do, man. I know it do. I'm telling you, bro. I got the man. Look here. I got to get. When I saw they dropped that 8 channel, I think it's I can't think of what it's called. It's SSL 8 something, 8 UF or something like that. And they just dropped that. I was online when the week they dropped it, going back and forth with a cat. I said, hey man, I got to get that thing. Oh man, I ain't finna pay no. I think it's 2,200 or something like that. I said, hey, look here. No, it's 14 or 1,500 for that 8 channel. I said, look here, man, I got to get that thing just to test that thing out. I said, SSL.
I mean, people, but here's the thing, it's like it's all about what is right. Worth. Like I'm right. not the kind of dude that'll go spend $500 on a pair of sneakers. That's just right. not me.
Right.
Some people would do that. So I don't see the value in spending $500-700 on some sneakers, but some people do. So, hey, that conversation wouldn't be for me. They're not going to convince me why certain shoes is going to cost this or why they would pay that. They would be better off doing that. So with certain conversation, when it comes to certain investments, it's just like you got to do what you got to right. do. So anyways, that's the spot. Hopefully you like it, man. I think it's that's what people be like, man. You got a lot of stuff in here. And to me, because I know what I want, sometimes I walk and I'm like, bro, this is a lot of stuff. Setting it up, I definitely was like, yeah, this is a lot of stuff. But right, then you get everything set up, and then it's just like you get used to seeing it, and the greed in you is I just want more and more and more. But no, the reality is that I gotta. It's a lot of gear in here, man.
Bro, let me ask you this, bro. What with your music, with mixing, mastering, engineering, bro? What's next for you, bro? Coming into 2021, I think people starting to move around now. I know down here, folks walking around with their mask off, talking about they getting shot and vaccinated and all that stuff, and they just moving around. I'm seeing more people moving around now.
So I mean, obviously, with this business,
right.
Frequency Canvas, I'm really excited. Another reason that I want to move in a public location because I want to be teaching classes. So, like, right. I'm going to be doing some online tutorials. I think I'm going to get into that game. I think I got a lot of wisdom and just some unique perspectives to give people. But I just wanted to move into a space. So the Frequency Canvas, the growth and development of this company, as far as me as an artist in the label side, I really wanted to sign somebody to help carry the weight. But man, signing an artist is a headache, man. It's like babysitting.
It's a headache,
it's a headache, man. So like for me as an art, I'm gonna start working on a new album. I'm gonna start working on a new album. I'll leak it first thing. I think I'm gonna start working on a new album called Progression, and hopefully I'm gonna give myself like 2-3 months, and then we're gonna drop it later on in the year. Got some amazing producers just right here in my city alone. But go check out my last album, Broken, man. That thing is a masterpiece. It's available on all platforms. Check out my website, KayrenMonterro.com, EngageRecords.net. Just check that out. Go buy a hard copy, get it on vinyl. It's fire, man. So that I got a digital distribution company called Engage Distro. So ENGAGE and then Distro. So basically like Distro Kid, TuneCore, CD Baby. I just started a boutique premium distribution company under my label Engage Records. So go to Engage. If you're an artist, producer, whatever, you need to get your stuff out, we got you, man. EngageDistro.net. We better than everybody. Go check that up. Engage Distro on all social media platforms. So I'm gonna be developing that. Like I said, locally, man, I got this ride share company coming called Pull Up under a company called Reliable Steering. Yeah, man, just trying to build some empires, man. Just trying to keep my mental strong, health, physical, spiritual, all of that, man. So trying to do all of this stuff while still trying to be a husband and a father. So
yes, sir.
It's a lot, man.
Oh, bro, hey, bro, welcome to the game. I know, man. When you wearing different hats and you got your hands and different things, and folks were like, "Man, you doing too much." I said, "No, you ain't doing enough." I said, "No, I don't believe in that one income stream thing." I said, "One is close to
It, it
none."
it definitely is a cap to where it's like,
Right,
because any one thing can consume you
right,
all the time. So like you definitely got to build a team up. So like through this process, I'm just hoping that God is going to provide, and He has been, just keep providing the people to be able to help, because there's no way you can do everything
right, right,
by yourself. No
right.
way.
Already, bro. Before we get off this thing, bro, any last words for the folks that's listening, bro?
I mean, we definitely probably had to do a follow up just on an artist. We didn't really spend a lot of time on that, but
Right.
I mean, check out the music, man. Hit us up for engineering. I mean, we here. We definitely probably had to do a follow up episode, man, just to kind of get into more details, man. But just stay safe out here, mood wise, and check the music out, man, and just check out what we got going on. And if people are wanting to learn audio engineering, Frequency Canvas, man, Kayren Monterro hit me up, and definitely about to be doing some things for that as well. Even if you ain't, in my area and you want to do some online stuff, virtual stuff like this, it's some great things that's about to happen.
Already. Bro, we appreciate you, bro. We consider you a fan of the refill now, bro. We got to get you back on, man. I think tonight, sometime these shows, they kind of go somewhere. It's like we don't come on here with a script and say we're going to talk about this, and that. But I think Cass was getting some good game about just studios and engineering, because a lot of cats don't know. They just don't. They want to do it. They want to, put the money into it, but after, what they heard you say about, investing and how to do it, hopefully, for anybody who look at this, hopefully, if you are an artist or if you're an inspiring engineer, man, get this game, man. It's free game. Get it, use it, and hey, make it happen. But bro, we appreciate you, bro. We consider you fam of the show now. And we definitely gonna do that follow, man. We're gonna get you back on sooner than later, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I look forward to it, man. Appreciate y'all having me.
Already. And that's the refill, y'all. That was another good show. Listen, each show, I love shows like this because we get to talk and chop it up about the intricacies, intricate details, the nuances, the acoustics of tonight it was just engineering. It was just talking about studio work, things that make the music flow, and a big part of that is our studios. So, and hopefully in the future we're gonna have more studio engineers, people that's behind the scenes of music. We're working on all that now. We're working hard to just bring y'all a great show. That's what we're looking to do. And so this is episode 33 of The Refill. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. And if you like what you seen, if you like what you heard, if you like what we're doing, if you like what we're building, we ask you to help us out. Help us out by donating. You can donate whatever amount with Cash App, through Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Just look at the bottom. You see the information there. If you're an artist and you want to be on the show, we're now booking for June and July. Just look at the bottom, send your email. You see all the information moving at the bottom. Just send your information, send it by email. We're gonna connect back with you and fit you in on the schedule in June or July. Also, remember to share, like, comment, leave a comment, whatever we can do to make the show better. Let us know. Listen, I'm one for improving. If we can make the show better, let us know. Inbox, email, let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. So we can get it right and get it done. Listen, this has been another good show. I'm your boy Ron Daniel. I'm gonna get off this thing. It's Friday night. Y'all gonna enjoy y'all night. And we're gonna be back next week, Thursday night, next Thursday, next Friday. We're gonna give y'all the big dog salute and the boom boom, and we're gonna see y'all next week.